Yes, people, welcome back to 1894 for a brand new video. Today, myself and Joe are going to talk about the recently up and down formed Raheem Sterling. Let's get right into our thoughts. Right, Joe, Raheem Sterling is a player that a lot of City fans have been quite critical of for maybe, I don't know, a year and a half. Not all City fans, they weren't critical. I mean, a lot of City fans were kind of torn between should we keep him, should we sell him and use the money to bring in another player and whatnot? Is it time he moved on? Had he achieved all he can at City? Has he completed his stay, essentially? But recently, I think it's fair to say in the last 7-8 weeks, Sterling has been absolutely fantastic. He really has, and he's really starting to come into that form that we have seen him at his best. You know, I've got his stats up here on screen. He's got 27 appearances across the Champions League and the Premier League with 15 goal involvements, 10 goals, 3 assists, all that good stuff. He's absolutely phenomenal, and we're recording this video just off the back of his hat-trick against Norwich. Joe, you got to be honest with me here now. You were critical. Yourself and Revel were both very critical of Raheem Sterling. And I can understand your frustration at times. You know, when things maybe weren't going our way, he is prone to missing the odd one-on-one, or maybe more than the odd one-on-one. But I think it's fair to say he is coming back into what we know him best for, what we love him most for.
I'm glad to see that he is coming back to, you know, goal-scoring form, not even goal-scoring form. Even when he's not scoring goals, he still looks like a threat on the pitch. He's running at people now. It's great to see. And look, this season I was one of his biggest critics. I didn't know whether I wanted to stay or leave. At one point, I was hell-bent on him out the door just because I didn't see a way back. He'd had it was nearing on 2 years of inconsistent and poor performances. I didn't think there was a way back. No, I tried my best last season to back him to the hills. I backed him for that infamous Champions League final, and it backfired. You know, it backfired, and I think from that point I was done. I was done at that point. I didn't see a way back. There was a little bit inside me that gave me a little bit of hope this season. Started off with the Spurs game. I thought he was okay in that Spurs game. Obviously, the Euros was a breath of fresh air. He was probably England's best player in that tournament. But after the start of the season, I didn't see a way back. There was the Champions League. There was him playing through the middle. There was that PSG away where no one was really good, but he was just there. He was just anonymous. He didn't really do anything. And I really didn't think there was a way back, but I'm glad he has found his feet. Obviously, albeit on the left and on the right. I'm glad he's not being played through the middle anymore. That is a relief. I think Pep's past that now. I don't think he's going to try that again. Thank God, because it just wasn't working. It was probably doing more harm than good. But, I mean, I'm happy to be proven wrong. In football, I think, you know, being a fan, having opinions, I think having negative opinions, all you want to do is be proven wrong. And I'm happy to say that I've been proven wrong this season. And it speaks volumes that I want him to sign a new contract. I know he's only got, well, at the time, 1.5 years left. But I want him to sign a new contract. And, well, yeah, he's probably not going to retire or stay here forever. He's probably going to go abroad at some point. I think we have to keep him right now.
I want to put it out there, Sterling, if you're watching by the complete off chance, I backed you through all the hardest times. Joe, you better give a thumbs up right now to vouch for me. I did back Sterling to the hills. I really did. I love Raheem Sterling. I knew he'd come good. Took a little bit longer than I would have liked, but I want to touch on this. I think Sterling has had actually a bit of a tough time, maybe more so than we talk about or we give him credit for. I mean, when the club brought in Jack Grealish in the summer, obviously he was always going to play either midfield or the left-hand side, Jack Grealish, where he's most comfortable. Sterling's probably thinking, damn, you know, maybe I'm going down the pecking order here. His confidence was going to be knocked. Like you said, he's playing out of position. It didn't suit him playing down the middle. And I think it's fair to say anybody who seems to play down the middle for us never really stands out or looks great. Grealish has played down the middle a few times. Don't really get much of a return from him there. Can't really complain about that either. It's not what he does. Foden's done it a few times. He's okay when he's there, but he's never at his best. So Sterling's had a tough ride. And if you throw it back maybe a couple of weeks or a couple of months, didn't he have that conversation with Pep where he was like, I want to stay, I want to fight for my place, I want to prove my worth to the team, to the fans, to everybody, and get back in this team. Once again, it goes back to the Pep project. Sterling isn't a silly guy. He realises City is probably the best place to be right now for any attacking player anyway in the world right now. So he wants to be here, and I think he's shown great heart, determination and guts to do something that he probably never had to do before. I mean, when he was with Liverpool, he was an up-and-coming star. He was doing great. He got his big move to City. From the off, he was in our starting 11 every week, banging goals, winning trophies. It was going great. The last 18 months or so has been the first kind of rocky period in Sterling's career where he's had to dig deep and fight hard to get back and show he has that guts. So I think it's very impressive that he did that as well, Joe.
It is, and I mean, look, the best players go through runs of form, albeit not like 18 months of poor form, but to find a way back from that long, it's impressive. And again, I'm glad it's happened. It almost reminds me of, maybe not in terms of the drop-off in form initially, but it reminds me of Cancelo's arrival at right back with Walker. Walker's performances went through the roof when Cancelo joined. He became undroppable, and I almost see that now with Grealish coming in. Sterling look at that, looking at it and going, I've got loads of competition here to play on the left and on the right with Mahrez and Foden and Jesus, his form at the start of the season. And it's almost like he's taken his performances to the next level to get in the team because he realises that someone's been signed in a position that he plays in. So, again, I'm so happy for him. I'm so glad. And he's one of the most important players at the moment. He's undroppable at the moment. He's another one where you go, big game, has to start. I think there was the stat that was in the Sporting preview that he's got the most away goals for us. That's incredible.
He's won the most penalties in Premier League history, which is like invaluable when you think about it. Penalties are a huge part of scoring goals, and like you said, he's now scored the most away goals under Pep Guardiola at Manchester City, eclipsing players like De Bruyne, Aguero, and these really, really top goal scorers when they're at their peak. So Sterling, he's got a big heart and he's got fantastic character. Like you said, he could have easily thrown his toys out of the pram when Jack Grealish signed, or when Phil Foden was on the rise. Phil Foden obviously plays very well on the left, where Sterling has played a lot over the years. When Phil Foden was on the rise, we brought Grealish in. Sterling could have thrown his toys out of the pram and said, nah, forget this, I'm going somewhere else in England. Arsenal probably would have taken him, somewhere abroad. He's talked about throughout his life if he'd like to play somewhere in Spain or Italy maybe. He could have done that multiple times, but no, he's stuck with it. He's fought hard. Yes, he's had prolonged down periods, but I think he's coming back to what he's best at. And obviously there's Grealish right now at this moment in time recording is carrying a bit of a knock. We've got Sporting Lisbon tomorrow night. At the time of recording, I think, as Joe said, Sterling's undroppable. He has to play that game. If Sterling can keep this form going, Grealish will really struggle to get back into the team. Foden may even struggle at times, with competition on Mahrez on the other side, and then you'll rotate between whoever, Grealish and Foden. There's a lot of competition, a lot of healthy competition, which is what we want going into this part of the season. We want Sterling to be absolutely on fire for these next 3 or 4 months, because obviously we're chasing another Premier League title and hopefully a Champions League and maybe an FA Cup, who knows. So we wanted to do this little video as a token of appreciation for Raheem Sterling. We realised that he's had his bad moments, but I think it's fair to say through recent consistency that he's looking pretty good again. We want you to give your thoughts down below in the comments as well on Sterling. What did you think of him 12 months ago? Were you ever saying maybe it is time for him to move on? Because I know a lot of people did share those views. But I agree with Joe. I would like Sterling now to sign a new contract, and I know there has been whispers of that happening over recent weeks and months. So do leave a like on the video as well if you would. That would be absolutely fantastic. Helps other City fans find the channel. And of course, subscribe if you're new as well. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Good night.